It is now 10 minutes to start the second round.
Minute 59,94.
Einfach nahezu perfekt. Sie bleibt.
For me, it doesn't matter.
Dankeschön.
Affen.
Welcome back to Lillehammer in Norway this Saturday morning as a light snow starts to fall. We're getting ready for the second heat of the Women's Monobob World Cup. This is race 7 of 8 of the World Cup season. The season finale will be also in Lillehammer next weekend. So 20 sleds going through into our second heat, and with them, we have a very entertaining battle. Top 8 sleds covered by just 1600ths of a second. 600ths cover the top 3. In the bronze medal position at the moment is Switzerland's Melanie Hasler. Really strong looking first run. She came out and laid down a nice smooth run. She is 600ths off the lead. 100th of a second separates our top 2. Winner in Lake Placid last year, Brianna Walker of Australia, who took the silver medal here last season, is currently lying in second place. But the race leader, the slider who finished in 6th position last year. Second in the overall World Cup standings, it is Lauren Alter, our 2-time World Monobob champion. With just 100th between the top 2, 600s covering the top 3. It is effectively a dead heat. 4th place Keisha Love is 700s back. Lisa Buchwitz, a 3-time winner this series, a 10th back. She was in the bronze medal position last year. Keisha Love, last year's winner, definitely in with a shout. Effectively from the top 8, just throw the names up in the air and see where they land. Don't forget as well that it is the European Championships deciding race. So at the moment, Lauren Alter is in the gold medal position, Melanie Hasler in the silver, and Lisa Buchwitz, the reigning European champion, is in the bronze medal position. But all that could well change, and the track, if anything, if yesterday's anything to go by, might well be faster again. Brianna Walker in the centre of your shot, limbering up. There's Mel Hasler, as ever, with the braids. Channeling a bit of Helen Upperton, Shelley-Ann Brown. And there is Keisha Love. Her second Monobob World Cup win came here last year. Catty Bile, you menace. She's so dull to be around, isn't she, Catty Bile? So the Austrian is sort of in the middle of the field, lying in a dead heat for 12th place. Alana Myers-Taylor, she is currently lying in 8th place, winner of the last 2 races, back-to-back gold medals in Samoritz. And our field starts with China's Yin Cheng. She'll be the first off as we go last to fast, 20 down to 1. The leader is the last to go. Race 7 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup. We're in Lillehammer in Norway. The European Championships race is underway. That won't deter Yingqing from doing her best. The Chinese slider returning to the World Cup after the Christmas-New Year break. She lies in 20th position after the first of two heats. 18th fastest at the start. She's still recovering from the injury that she had in the off-season. 5:89, not quite as quick as her first run. Now, most of the track is covered. If there's a bit of wind behind the snow, it does blow in a little. But as you can see, pristine, high gloss, shiny, hard, fast ice presented for our athletes. Most athletes in the World Cup hadn't visited here before last season, and they were all super impressed with the condition of this 94 Winter Olympic track, and even more so this year. Good looking run from Yingqing. Nice exit out of 13, down the straight into 14, and holds that line in 15 against the pressure. Across the line, it's a 55.28 compared to a 55.42 in the first heat, so a notable improvement. Right, let's do some quick rule of thumb maths. Track record 54.12. We had a 54.55 in the first heat, which is 43.33, some hundreds away. 0.4 of a second away from the track record. I've just seen Yingqing improve by 14 hundredths. If that is a global improvement because of a slightly quicker track, we're probably not going to get a track record, but who knows? Yingqing the leader for the moment. It is still cold out. Get those warm clothes on and keep them on as late as possible as you get to the line. Linda Wyszewski of Poland next up. Brand new Polish competitor in the two-man race this afternoon. Former brakeman for Maciej Luti. For those of you with good memories. And Linda will be racing tomorrow in the women's bobsleigh as well. Her brakewoman will be down at the bottom, ready to help with the sled. Down and in. First start 5:81. It's a 5:82. So her advantage from the first heat, just 4 hundredths of a second, but she added to that with a slightly quicker start than Yingqing. Oh, little skid from 4 to 5. And that'll take a bit of speed out of the sled. So the gap comes down as she enters the labyrinth. Smooth run through the labyrinth. Let's see out of 10. Looks clean enough into 11 and 12. Still not as quick as the Chinese slider. Exit from 13, taps on the wall down to 14. Yingqing's run was a little tidier, I think, and hence the speed reflects that. Across the line, just 8 hundredths back. And that was a couple of hundredths slower than Linda Wyszewski's first run. So she slips the spot. Four to 5. Quite frequently see those taps on the driver's left. And again here out of 13. You have to come off 13 a little earlier than it would appear. There's not much time to navigate that corner accurately at the speeds they're doing. I heart too. So this is Erica Voss, our rookie today, former brakewoman, and making her first World Cup start in monobob, her first race outside North America, in fact. At least in the front seat, 5.80. So she's got a decent start, as you would expect, coming from the back handles. Many of our drivers have started out in the sport as a push athlete. 1800s up at the start, 1700s up now. First time ever here in Lillehammer. Justin Cripps rejoining the team as well, trying to impart as much knowledge as possible. 200's up, now slipping into the red. She made the cut on her first ever outing in the World Cup, which is by no means a given, on a track she'd never been to before. So she slips to the tail of the field. Yingqing hangs on. Lyndon Rush and Justin Cripps, terrible twosome back together, coaching the Canadians. 55.56, so 2300 slower than her first heat. And at this stage of her driving career, learning new tracks is going to be a big part of it. She knows the North American tracks, she's been driving those for a couple of years, so she knows the sled, but you do need to know where you're going. And that only comes with ice miles, and that only comes with time. But great to see another new slider for Canada. Yingqing of China is our current leader. We get to our fourth sled out in this penultimate race of the World Cup season. And this is Margot Bock for France. Bruno Mijon on the back in the red coat, and Max Robert on the left in the blue. They team up together to look after the French sleds and the Monaco team as well. .590. Now she had 1500s in hand over Yingqing of China from the first heat. She started a tenth slower than her Chinese rival. And a little tap from 4 to 5 as well. A little uncomfortable dismount from corner 4. Smoother out of 6 into the labyrinth. The speed is there. Now let's see if she can stretch her legs away from Yingqing. Better speed than the Chinese driver. The sleds are the same, made in Bavaria by a company called Ixent. So it's a spec sled, you choose your own runners. Great view of her hands. And 2400's up, 55.19. So Yingqing evicted from the leader's box by France's Margot Bock. Not a bad exit from 10 into 11. And then a little late flop out of 13. In 15, see how close her hands are together, knuckles together. Quite a lot of drivers drive like that. You'll see some with straight arms. That is entirely personal preference. Next up, Kelly van Petegem of Belgium. 19th fastest start, so 400s quicker than Margot off the block. And she came down 5800s off the lead. Margot Bock was 7200s off the lead, so 1400s of a second difference. Kelly outdrove her French rival from a very close to identical start. Let's see if she can do it again. Got noise in the background from her brakewoman and her coach. 5.86 to get away. So she gets in with another 400s in hand over Margot Bock. So the starting margin 1800s, little tap at a skid from 4 to 5. That's going to rob her of speed. So she has added to the advantage before 6. Still got the fastest speed. She was a little bit loosey-goosey in the first heat, but got good speed out of the sled, and maybe that is just the way it goes. Second fastest, 2200s up, holding her lead over Margot Bock. Ooh, big long skid from 13 to 14. Again, straight arm driving style that she has. Tucks her head under the cowl, 55.22. Not quite as quick as Margot, but enough to keep her in the lead with 15 to go. So what every driver wants to see is the single digit held up as they get to the end of the run. That means they've held their position. They're the leader at that stage. Of course, that really helps if you're the last sled out, but you never want to give places away or lose a spot that you've earned in the first heat. Great view there of just how close you get to the action at a bobsleigh track. And there were 1,100 school kids here yesterday watching. There was absolute carnage, absolutely wonderful carnage. The World Championships in 2027 are going to be very special here. Adele Nichol from Great Britain, 15th after the first heat here in Lillehammer, race 7 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup. 1100ths of a second advantage over current leader Kelly van Petegem, starts in the same time, 5:86, so maintains that advantage. Adele finished in 15th place last year, 15th place after the first heat, but the gap is decreasing. Now, she had what seemed like very good speed at the bottom in the first run, only the 3rd fastest though into the labyrinth. She's getting a little late onto 7. Let's see how she fares. Smoothly out of 10 into 11. And 12. 12-13 crossover was clean, but still losing speed. Straight down to 14. And that should help regain some of that speed. It does. Was 400s back. Can she close at the line? Not enough. 55.34. So she will lose a spot. Kelly van Petegem moves up. The Belgian didn't race here last year, but has previous Europe Cup medals in 2 outings on this track. Adele still coming back to fitness. Nice exit out of 13, just a little flop but no skid, and tiniest brush with the wall. 14 sleds to go, first of whom Melissa Lotholtz. Now her advantage over Kelly van Petegem is a little more sizable, over 0.2 of a second in hand. And Mel racing monobob in the World Cup for the first time. So coming back to these tracks, and in this case to this track for the first time. 5:67, another strong getaway, exactly what she did in the first heat. So nearly 0.2 of a second faster than the current leader. So that not only adds to her advantage at the start, but also that extra speed multiplies that advantage. So from 3,400s out to 4,200s in front, but only the 4th best speed, so the gap is starting to decrease. Down to 0.3, 6th best speed. Oh, and a long drift from 13 to 14. Puts her into 14 on the wrong side, sits right up by the cowl, exactly as she does in the women's bob. And a 55.28, she takes the lead by 0.09 of a second. 600s slower than Kelly van Petegem on that second run. But survives on her first heat advantage. Like so many, Melissa Lotholtz, former brakewoman, turned to driving after the Olympics. Raced in monobob and in the World Cup in women's bobsleigh, and then stepped back for a year. And last year, recovered her overall rankings to get back into the World Cup. Next up, Katy Beil of Austria. 0.07 of a second in front of Melissa Lotholtz. So no matter where you are in our top 20, the gaps are pretty tiny. 5:76 first start for Catty Bile. 5:75, a whisker faster, but 800s slower than Melissa Lotholtz. So her first heat advantage has disappeared. Now she has to outdrive her Canadian rival. Ooh, a little high and the exit of 4. Told her that she needs to readjust for the rest of the track. I'll be running a little faster even than in the first heat. Into the green. Speed is good, speed is very good. 115 kilometers an hour. Nice looking drive from Catty Bile. Big height onto 15. Holds it without too much of a bobble. And across the line, 55.04. Came down 54.91 in the first heat. So maybe the track isn't faster. Maybe she just made a few more mistakes. Good. Maybe that was the little baby Jesus paying her back for blowing snow all over the camera. I mean, you know, I'm not one to say. Nice run from Catty Bile, though. She takes the lead and will be, well, no worse than 13th, because she was in a tie for 12th place. So we'll wait to see whether that tie is broken or not. Early height there in 15. And again, see, she's got more of a spread hands driving style. That's down to the individual driver. Romania's Andreea Grecu set the time. Catty Bile tied it in her run, so it is Grecu who gets to go second. See if she can ease her way up the order. European silver medalist in the last 2 seasons of monobob. Lisa Buchwitz, the European champion last year. Lauren Alter, the European champion in Altenburg in 2023. And Andrea has also been a European silver medalist in women's bobsleigh. .572 getaway. Started 5:69 in the first heat, but that is a little quicker than Catty Bile, so with a slender advantage. Again, the tap 4 to 5. Better speed than the Austrian at this stage. 58 miles an hour. Building her advantage little by little, but the speed isn't quite there. She does get a decent run out of 13 down to 14, down to 200ths of a second. It's going to be very close. It could be a dead heat again. Why not? Ah, no, she found enough at the bottom, 54.96. Julian Patianu, the coach, highly excitable. Now then, let me just figure out why. Hang on, let's remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 non-European sleds in front of her out of the remaining 11. So that is top 6 in the European Championships that she has just secured. So a 2-time silver medalist, in fact a 3-time silver medalist in bobsleigh and monobob. And that will be top 6 in the European Championships. Next up is another of our European medal contenders, Kim Kalicki. Now, she was the bronze medalist in Altenburg 2023 in the Europeans. Kalicki didn't race here last season. She was recovering from, was it a calf or a hamstring? It was a calf, I think. 11th after the first heat, 200ths out of the top 10. 5:76 getaway, 5:73 in the first heat. So she had 700ths in hand over Andreea Grecu. That is down to just 300ths of a second. Creeping it out to 400ths. Little like Mariami Amanka, not the biggest fan of the monobob, but it is what it is. You have to get your head around it. 200ths of a second. This is going to be very tight. Katy Bile was fastest. She's right there with Andrea Grecu. 300 still, but the speed is going away. Has she got enough to hold the lead at the line? Yes, just 54.99. That was actually 300 slower than Grecu's run. So she hangs on. She will be no worse than 11th. And that will be, I believe, 5th in the Europeans. Ahead of her are 1, 2, 3, 4 more European sliders in the top 10. Well, that's an indication, if you need one, that it is a bit of a global sport, and also that the USA and Canada are having a good day here today. Again, sitting nicely back, Kim Kilicki. Yeah, a bit comme ci, comme ça, as they say in Germany. Kim Kilicki, the leader after the first 10. 10 down, 10 to go here in Lillehammer. Race 7 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup. Great to see Erica Vos there as well, making the heat in her first outing ever in Europe as a driver. One of so many athletes who have come from the back seat. Now, Kim Kilicki and Lara Nolte didn't. They started out as drivers. Lisa Bukvitz, though, she was a brakewoman. Sylvia Hoffman was a brakewoman. Deborah Annan wasn't. She started as a driver. Alana Myers-Taylor, Kaylee Humphries, both Olympic brakewomen. Cynthia Appiah was, Lisa Bukvitz was, Keisha Love was, Mel Hassler wasn't, Brianna Walker was, Lara Nolte wasn't. So, in the top 10, in fact, all the way through the field, predominance of backseat drivers who have decided that they can do a better job than their pilot. Is that the way to describe it? Probably not. But push athletes who have taken to the front handles and have gelled with driving, and not all do. Not all do. Was it Torsten Margis we were talking to a while ago, saying, did you ever think of driving? Oh yeah, I tried it, hated every minute of it, went back to what I knew. And it's not for everybody. Little words of encouragement from Chris Folks for Sylvia Hoffman.
30 seconds.
Katy Bile, stay away from the snow. Ilko, our finish line cameraman. Yeah. He'll end up with snow down the back of his jacket, don't you worry. The moment he turns his back, tucking her hair into the suit, as we get ready to resume our race here in Lillehammer. Race 7, IBSF Monobob World Cup. We're in Lillehammer in Norway, 10 down, 10 to go in the second and deciding heat. In 10th place after heat 1, Sylvia Hoffman. 200s in the first heat, ahead of our current leader, Kim Kilicki of Germany. Sylvia racing here for the first time. 9th place finish in Lake Placid last year, her best. She tied the start record, 5:58 in the first heat, just 100th off it, 5:59 in the second. Her best results in Europe have been an 11th place finish in Innsbruck. What has been an 11th place finish in Innsbruck. So at the moment, she is in personal best territory outside of the US tracks. The gap's coming down from 2/10 over Kilicki, down to 1200s, only the 8th best speed, and a big whip into the wall. 800ths of a second, 8th best speed. Well, Kilicki didn't have much speed at the bottom. It's going to be close. It's a dead heat. They are both in the top 10. Well, we had a tie for 12th in the first heat. That was broken. We've now got a tie for 10th in the overall result, or no worse than 10th. See, her visor was fogging up a little. Hopefully that was only on the outrun. Again, watch her looking around the cowl of the sled, sitting back and low, getting the weight as far back as possible. Try and give balance and put some pressure on those rear runners. Lots of waves. Lots of waves in 15. Just a metre more distance cost her that lead. Or at least she's tied for the lead. Next up, let's send it the words of wisdom. That's top coaching there from Chris Woolley. 200s ahead of Hoffman from the first heat, 400s ahead of Kalicki, Deborah Annan. Daughter of Martin Annan. Her brother Tim also races. 5:78 getaway, so 0.2 of a second slower than Sylvia Hoffman. 200s up. But Hoffman's greater velocity turns that slender lead into a deficit. Now she's coming back level. Better speed than we've seen so far. 200s of a second in it. Creeping away, 400s up. Good speed still from Deborah Annan. Oh, and rock and rolling out of 13, skidding down to 14, still with better speed. She should have the lead. Across the line, 1100s up, 54.92. So not quite a personal best equaling run for Sylvia Hoffman. Best ever Monobob World Cup race result, a 9th place finish. She'll be no worse than 10th here. It'll be no worse than 9th for Deborah Annan. 4th place in race 2 in Samoritz a couple of weeks ago. She had a really strong time in Samoritz. But that late flop there probably cost her as much as 1/10 of a second down the run. And again, sitting well back, hands apart, almost over her knees there. And she's delighted with that huge family Annan smile. 8 to go, and only 1600s of a second cover the remaining 8 sleds after the first heat. This is where we basically throw the names up in the air and see who's going to grab a medal. Alana Myers-Taylor, 900s ahead of Deborah Annan from the first heat. Her eyes are on the prize, looking for a 3rd straight win. It's going to be a remarkable effort if she takes it from here. But a podium is only 1/10 away. Started 5:72, same as her first heat. Another smooth top part to the track. Still has most of that 1900s lead. This is not about staying ahead of Deborah Annan, it's about attacking the remaining sleds, laying down a marker. Only the 3rd best speed, good exit out of 13. That'll help build that speed. Still 3rd fastest. And across the line, 54.81, 1/10 slower than her first heat. Coach Shona Roebuck with the team the last few weeks. So Alana leads with 7 to go. No three-peat then. Back-to-back wins in Samoritz. Got a knee caught as she loaded. Still got the sled under control. Out of 13, late flop. Came off square, down to 14. Puts her on the correct side as well, under the camera there. And then in 15 again, see her hands. Knuckles together. There's the steer. Pulling back with the left hand. Kelly Humphreys with her trademark goggles. Why does she wear goggles? Well, Pierre Luders did when he was coaching her. She learned from day one wearing goggles. Why? Because they don't miss up. 5:79 start, 15th fastest out of the starting blocks, 7th by the bottom of the track. Kaylee wasn't racing here last year. This is her first time at the track. As she said when we got to Sigulda for the first time ever for her a couple of seasons ago, even with a career as long as hers, there is still stuff to learn. 700s back at the start, 1100s back to Alana Myers-Taylor, her teammate. Does she close the gap? She steadied the ship. She has stopped the bleeding. 3rd at the start, 3rd on the splits. Gap's down to a 10th. Better speed, 71.7 miles an hour. Flop and a tap out of 13. 4th best speed, not going to have enough, I don't think, to catch Alana. Alana was 3rd fastest, she doesn't. 1200s back, 54.95 run. So Kaylee will be no worse than 8th, but Alana Myers-Taylor leads with 6 to go. Just a little late off 13, gets the tap and that drift down the straight. And then in 15, again, knuckles close together for Kaylee. There's the steer now, it's quite a big steer. Not quite Robin Hooding it off, but a big steer nonetheless. And cold, cold hands. This is not a warm weather sport, not usually anyway. 4th fastest starter, 6th at the bottom, Cynthia Appiah. 1300s from the lead. 700s from a medal for the first time this season. Raced here last year, that's her only appearance here. She was 5th last year, 6th after the first of our 2 heats. 5:61 getaway, 400s quicker than her first start. Smooth from 3 to 4, little tap from 4 to 5. 1400s, holding the advantage against Alana. Good speed. Nice through 10, 11 and 12. Extra 13. Gets the big skid as well. The gap was out to 1500. She's got better speed than Alana Myers-Taylor, and that should help increase the margin. 1400s, 54.70. Big smiles from Lyndon Rush and Justin Cripps. And Cynthia in the lead with 5 to go. First top 6 finish of the season for Appiah. If you're going to hit form just before you head to the World Championships. Previous best this year for Sin, 8th place in the opener in Altenburg. And 2 10th place finishes in Innsbruck and race 1 in St. Moritz. But that is her first top 6 finish of the season. There you go. So, Cynthia Appiah leads, 5 to go. Our winner last year, Keisha Love. Our silver medalist, Brianna Walker. And our bronze medalist from last year, this woman, Lisa Buchwitz, all in the top 5. Buchwitz, the reigning European champion, just a 10th away from gold. She's had 3 wins already this season. 5:61 getaway. Well, while others might be coming into form, it never seems to desert Lisa Buchwitz. She's been on such a medal-winning streak. off the podium in both races in St. Moritz. She would love to turn that around, but only the 12th best speed here. The gap's down to 600ths. She only needs to be 100th in front. She only is 100th in front. Speed, I don't know. Is she going to hang on in front of a PR? Yes! Oh! 54.71, 1/100th of a second slower than Cynthia Appiah. Luckily, she had 300s in hand. Is that enough for a medal? Who knows? Such an athlete off the block, this woman. And she can drive. A relatively recent convert to driving compared to a number of those around her. So the experience is still being gained to try and catch up. And that's the same for the USA's Keisha Love, a two-time winner in Monobob. She was the bronze medalist in race 1 in St. Moritz, the silver medalist in race 2. And Keisha Love was our race winner here last year on her first appearance at the track. It's her 15th Monobob race. And she is just 700ths off gold. Anything is possible for these final sleds. 5:61 getaway, another strong start. Little tappy. She goes from 3 to 4. Avoids the tap 4 to 5. Tied with Lisa Buchwitz. Just 300s up at the start. Now she's got slightly better speed than her German rival. And that's that clean run, 3:45. A little late maybe out of 8. Decent out of 10. Best speed of all. Is Keisha Love going to repeat last year's win? 1800s ahead of Lisa Buchwitz. This is an absolutely flying run from Keisha Love. Best speed we have seen. Big, big effort. 2200s up. That could be gold. She flew. Well, this is early on, but few errors. Nice, smooth transition onto the corner, like she's been doing it all her life. 2 weeks here last year, 2 weeks here this year. That might be the gold medal winning run. 3 to go, Keisha Love leads. So what about Melly Hasler? Third place after the first of our 2 heats, 100th ahead of our current leader, 600ths away from gold. She could win it as well. 2 silver medals in Monobob in her career. Is she going to be on the podium here as well? Silver medalist in Winterberg, her best result of the season so far. 5:68 getaway, adds 100th to her 100th lead over Keisha Love. But the velocity's not quite the same. Fifth best speed. This is looking very good for Keisha Love right now. And at the moment, Lisa Buchwitz 2200s back, maybe moving up in the European Championship stakes ahead of Melly Hasler. Melly Hasler at the moment, European silver medal position. And if she comes to the line ahead of Buchwitz, it will be a European silver medal. Second at the line with 2 to go. Keisha Love leads. She's in the medals. And Mel Hasler With one more European runner to go, we'll take at least a European silver medal. Lisa Buchwitz at least a European bronze. Just not quite as neat and tidy. More of a late exit out of 4 and a tap and a skid to 5. Slightly later flop out of 13. It's tiny details that make the difference when you've got 8 sleds covered by 1600s at the top of the pile. European silver medalist, 2 to go. The Europeans don't matter to Brianna Walker. What matters is that she was 100th off the lead in the first heat. This is effectively a dead heat. And also, she will have to outperform Keisha Love. Keisha laid down a smoking second run, quicker than anybody has been so far. So Brianna Walker has to find, getting on for a 1/10 of a second, to stay in front. 5:67 getaway, starts 600 slower. So like Mel Hasler, she sits down in the red. Now she's got to outdrive her American rival. Late off 4, tap into 5, but not a skid. 100th in it. Third best speed, Keisha Love was fastest. It's gone positive to negative, back to positive. Finding the speed down in corner 12. Absolutely critical. Best speed of all. Out of 13, long drift down to 14. 200s in it. Still the best speed. It's going to be close. Is Brianna Walker going to lead at the line? No, it's a dead heat. They both lead. It will be at least a silver for both of them. Well, we have not had a dead heat for gold in monobob. We've not had a dead heat for silver or bronze either so far in the World Cup races. This will be our first, where they have to go back to the medal draw for another one. Wow. 600s ahead of Keisha Love, and absolutely level at the bottom. 2 in the leaders box and 1 on the block. Lauren Alter, 2-time world champion. Winner in Altenburg. Silver medalist in Sigulda. Bronze medalist in Innsbruck. And again in the last race in St. Moritz. Looking for win number 2. This is effectively a dead heat with Keisha Love and Brianna Walker, our joint leaders. 5:65 getaway, 300s quicker than her first. This is for her second win of the season. This is for the European Championship victory as well. 6th place here last year. The Youth Olympic champion on this track in 2016, but it's going away from Lauren Alter. Only the 10th best speed. She's behind the leaders by 200s. Now she comes on. That's closer to where she needs to be. This is going to be very close indeed. Lauren Alter 200s back. How close is it going to be? It could still be a dead heat. 2 winners or 3. It is 2 winners. Lauren Alter drops back. It is double gold. Brianna Walker takes her second win. Keisha Love her third. We have a tie for gold. And Lauren Alter is the European champion and the bronze medalist today. Well, she takes the World Cup bronze. And with Lisa Buchwitz behind her in 5th place, closes the standings with 1 race to go. Well, it went away early on. She didn't quite have the drive down the rest of the run to catch her rivals. So close. 700ths of a second covering the top three. And Lauren Alter is the European champion. Mel Hasler, the silver medalist, with the European bronze going to Lisa Buchwitz. And there are your two winners, Keisha Love and Brianna Walker. And Lara, of course, being first in to offer her congratulations.
I'm like falling over.
Ladies, you're on. Brianna Walker and Keisha Love are joint winners. Lauren Alter takes the bronze and is the new European champion. So Alter, the European champion 2023, takes her second European gold, ahead of Mel Hasler and Lisa Buchwitz. And for both of them, it is a first silver for Hasler, a first European medal for Hasler, first bronze for Buchwitz, who was the reigning European champion, rather. Well, Keisha Love coming from behind, 700 out of the lead in the first heat. Fourth place after run one. Brianna Walker, last year's silver medalist, coming back and holding. So Keisha Love now 2 of her 3 wins here in Lillehammer. Lake Placid may still be her favourite track, but this has got to be going up there, hasn't it? Brianna Walker and Keisha Love take victory. Lauren Alter takes the bronze and is the European champion ahead of Mel Hasler and Lisa Buchwitz. Cynthia Appiah, first top 6 of the season ahead of Alana Myers-Taylor and Kaylee Humphries, with Deborah Annan in 9th ahead of Sylvia Hoffman. So Deborah Annan gets 4th place in the European Championships ahead of Kim Kilicki and Andrea Grecu. There are our 20 finishers. And again, once we've taken out the other nations, European Championship gold going to Lauren Alter, the European champion, as the battle for the Crystal Globe will continue next week. The season finale will also be here in Lillehammer. Well, what the weather will bring us then, who knows? Chances are it'll still be a winter wonderland with cold, fast ice. In the end, the top 8 separated by 1600ths after heat 1, after heat 2 separated by 5/10ths. So they properly spread out, and you heard Lauren Alter then just saying, oh my goodness, how different was that to the first run. She is the European champion, with the silver going to Mel Hasler, her first European medal, and Lisa Buchwitz, last year's European champion, taking the bronze. Well, the first action of the day is over with the Monobob race. And don't forget, we have the 2-man coming up at lunchtime, because this afternoon we also have the skeleton teams competition. So, Lauren Alter and Brianna Walker tied for second in the battle for the Crystal Globe, not far ahead of Keisha Love, but Lisa Buchwitz maintains her advantage, 66 points going into the final race. And effectively that means if she's somewhere in the top 6 or 7, I'll have to do the maths later, then she will be our World Cup champion. Buchwitz was the champion last year, ahead of Brianna Walker and Lauren Alter. Let's see what happens. Well, that's it until 2-man time. That is 12:30 local, 11:30 CET, 06:30 Eastern, and that is in an hour and 6 minutes from now. We'll see you then. Until then, from Lillehammer, goodbye from all of us. Bye for now.
Okay, here we go. Ich hoffe, dass deutsche Fans sind. Lara Nolte, gratuliere zur Europameisterschaft. Wie war dein Rennen?
Dankeschön. Ja, ich bin sehr happy, dass ich Europameisterin geworden bin. Natürlich ein bisschen schade, dass ich im Weltcup jetzt dann Dritte statt Erste geworden bin. Aber es war abzusehen, dass es sehr, sehr knapp wird. Ich meine, ich habe nur eine Hundertstel geführt nach dem ersten Lauf. Und im zweiten Lauf waren einfach zu viele Fehler drin. Der Start war besser, aber es waren ein paar Fehler drin. Und deswegen ist das völlig okay so.
Sehr viel Erfolg hier im Lillehammer. Ist das eine Track, das du magst?
Ja, sehr. Ich hatte ja hier meinen allerersten großen internationalen Wettkampf, die Jugendolympiade 2016 im Monobob auch hier, wo ich gewinnen konnte. Und dann war ich noch einmal zum Europacup hier. Meinen ersten Europacup hatte ich auch hier. Also ja, es ist sehr, sehr schön. Ich liebe es hier. Die Umgebung ist toll. Die Bahn macht Spaß. Ja.
Wir haben noch ein Rennen im Weltcup. Hast du noch die Hoffnung, das Gesamtklassement zu gewinnen?
Ich glaube, das Gesamtklassement geht an Lisa. Das wird schon sehr, sehr knapp. Aber um 2 und 3 wird es auch sehr knapp. Also Brie und ich sind, glaube ich, gerade punktgleich. Das war letztes Jahr in Lake Placid ähnlich. Ja, mal schauen.
Thank you. So now we do this one and now we go in English.
Yes.
All right. Engels komt er nu aan, Maarten. Andere kant? Andere kant? Ja. Ja. Okay. Lara Nolte, congratulations becoming your new European Championship. How do you feel after this race?
I'm very happy to become a European champion. Of course, losing 2 spots in the second heat isn't what you want, but it was so close after the first heat. Like, it was only 100th of an advantage to Brie, so it was, yeah, obvious that it will be close. So, yeah, I did too many mistakes in the second run, so it's all right.